Hello everyone, back tuning into the August month ahead forecast. We're going to have a detailed look at the possible weather for the coming month. As always, long-range forecasting is pretty experimental and it's not to be relied upon. But we'll be having a look at the CFS V2 and Beijing Climate Centre. We'll also add the CanSITS model to this month's month-ahead forecast for August. We'll have a quick review of what happened in July, in the July forecast. We'll very able to have a sneak peek at September. Before I get on with that, just to say about the charity event, it is finished now. We have wound it up. It's running a charity event throughout July. Big thank you to everyone who donated. We got nearly £1,500 from this charity event for Warwickshire and Northamptonshire Air Ambulance. If you want to know more about that, then just go to the fundraising page and you can get to that via the link on the homepage. And thanks very much to everybody that donated. So if I get on with the month-end forecast, just say about the ads. This link's right across all of the page. Tap a browse widgets and click through the links. You'll be able to help us pay for the website. Thanks so much for doing that. There's also video ads, most pages, which own out content, but you watch and close back up again. And it is all helping to pay for GazWebBits.com. Later on, we'll have a video on the homepage looking at weather for the next week to 10 days. So a lot going on today. This is already my second video that I've done. So we're going to start off with the central temperature from Hadley. Just to say about the July forecast, it's got a bit wrong. The July forecast was for a cooler than average month, by around half a degree. And we did think there'd be quite a difference between the northwest and southeast in terms of precipitation. So we went for a wetter than average month in northwest, drier than average month, or near normal in the south and east. As it turned out, it was significantly warmer than average. You'll see that on the CET in a moment, particularly for England, less so for Scotland and Northern Ireland. And also for England and Wales, it's a very dry month, whereas further north is actually quite a bit wet. So we did get that side of things right. There'd be a discrepancy between the northwest and the southeast in terms of precipitation. But overall, it finished up, particularly for England and Wales, significantly warmer than we expected. So I wouldn't say that the July forecast was a hit by any means. So this is how the CET finished up at 16.9. It's just come in from Hadley. So it was around, say, a degree, just under a degree above average. Substantially warmer than average. Not as warm as July's 2013 and 2014, which came in at 8.3 and 17.7 respectively, but around a degree warmer than July last year. July 2015 was a bit cooler than average at 15.9. We're around a degree above that. But remember, that is for the central England region. It hasn't been as warm as this further north and west across the country. But we went for a cooler than average month across the country. It didn't come off, so I don't think we can say that the July month-end forecast was a particular success. Anyway, let's get on with August, and we're going to start off with the CFS V2. This is the 700 millibar height anomaly for August. And on the face of it, this doesn't look very good at all. It's placing a area below average heights, more or less over the top of the country, just centred slightly to the northwest. There's also a bit of yellow around Greenland. That's signs of northern blocking. So you would have thought the jet stream here is probably going something like that. It does, or I would have thought, places on the cooler side of the jet there. And it looks quite unsettled as well, that. Particularly so for the north and west, but even down in the southeast, I think we would suspect that there'd be some unsettled conditions. We have got a bit of ridging across central parts of Europe, which could help to turn the winds into the south at times, but with such a deep trough, I don't think that would be sustained for any length of time, really. So that looks pretty poor for a 700 millibar height anomaly for August. Temperature anomalies are coming out generally close to average. Notice many northern and western parts of Europe have little splodges of cooler than average temperatures. For the UK, it's near normal. The real warmth, is over in the east of Europe, around the Black Sea, up towards western Russia, down in towards southeast of Europe as well. I think overall that is hinting at a cooler than average month. Sometimes you have to read between the lines with these models, and I think, although it's not a strong signal, because the warmth is such a long way away, the real warm temperature anomaly is such a long way away from us to the east, I think overall that's probably going for a slightly cooler than average month. Now, precipitation is a much stronger signal, and that's coming out significantly wetter than average. Also for Scandinavia as well, so it does imply that the low pressure is through here, and the jet stream is coming through here, something like that. Now, we've got dry than average precipitation to the south of us around Spain and France, so presumably there is some ridging going on there. Which could sometimes keep the south and southie a little bit dry. But overall, it's a cool, wet signal, I think, from the CFS V2 for this August. Not a great starting point. Now, this is a new one for these month-ahead forecasts. This is the CanSITS model from website tropicaltidbits.com. You can find the link to Tropical Tidbits on the links page. I'm just going to throw this one in and see how it does. So this is the mean sea level pressure anomaly for August. And again, it looks quite unsettled. It looks very similar, actually, to what the CFS V2 is doing. We've got above average heights around the south of Greenland. We've got below average heights, particularly centred to the north and west of the UK. Some ridging from the Azores High down to the south. But again, overall, I think it's unsettled because we're bringing the jet stream through the country. Rather like that. The temperature signal, again, very similar to what the CFS V2 is doing, in that temperatures are generally forecast to be around average, not a great deviation with the temperatures. And precipitation, look at this, very similar again to what the CFS V2 is doing, with a significantly wetter than average month being predicted. Also significantly wetter than average for precipitation as well. I'm not sure whether the CanSITS model follows CFS or is some way related to it, but it's very interesting that they are both more or less identical in terms of the broad pattern, in terms of temperature anomalies, in terms of precipitation anomalies as well. So we'll keep an eye on that over the next few months and see whether these two models are in alignment with one another, or whether they do sometimes disagree. But for this month, they are very much in agreement. And then finally, the Beijing Climate Centre. These are 500 millibar height anomalies, again, for the month of August. A little bit different, this one. We've got above average heights around Greenland. We don't really have below average heights to the south of it. You would have thought there'd be below average heights somewhere around here, and then ridging around here, and then going up to here. So it's a little bit complicated to decipher. I think it could be transitional. I've had a look at the breakdown in 10-day periods, and it starts off really quite unsettled. It does turn more settled as it gets through to the latter stages of August. Now, the temperature anomaly with this one is actually coming out a bit cooler than average. Probably can't make it out all that well, but it's slightly in those pale blue colours, which is around half a degree cooler than average. The other two models, remember, were close to average. Notice again, very similar to the CFS V2, with the real warmth being pushed over towards the east of Europe, towards the Black Sea, and up towards western parts of Russia. And the precipitation anomaly, that is coming out wetter than average. So all of these three models are in agreement that August is going to be a wet month. They disagree a little bit on temperatures, with the first two generally close to average with temperatures, but probably hinting, particularly CFS V2, probably hinting being a bit cooler than average. And then the Beijing Climate Centre is also wetter than average, but probably hints at a cooler than average month as well. So it's a very grim signal, this, from these models for a pretty poor August. Now, the question is, do we go along with this, or do we disagree with what they're doing? Because last month, the general consensus, I think, was for quite a disappointing July, and it didn't come off particularly well. For England and Wales, it was fairly decent summer month. As we've already seen, temperatures came out around a degree above average. It's also very dry. It wasn't as good in the north and west. Have to keep emphasising that Scotland, Northern Ireland, North West England, always played by the jet stream, and cooler and more unsettled there. So do we think these models are on the right track for August or not? Well, the Galsworthy's summer forecast suggested that August was likely, out of the 3 summer months, the Galsworthy's summer forecast suggested that August was likely to be the most unsettled to average, and the coolest to average, although we said that June will probably come out cooler over all of the 3 summer months because it's the first month of the summer. To average, we thought that August was probably likely to be the worst of the 3 summer months, coming out cooler and wetter to average. So these are in alignment with Galsworthy's summer forecast. So I'm going to go with that, not with any great level of confidence, but I'm going to stick to the Galsworthy's summer forecast, which we put out at the end of May. We don't alter the forecast and change it. It hasn't gone all that well, to be honest. July was a significantly better month than we expected, I think. So I don't think the summer forecast has gone all that well. But I'm going to stick to the summer forecast anyway, and we'll just see how it goes. So the Galsworthy's August month-end forecast goes with the Galsworthy's summer forecast, in that we're indicating quite a coolish month. Temperature anomalies perhaps coming out a bit cooler than average, and we also predict that precipitation going to be a bit wetter than average. Well, I think these models are probably over the top, though. I think they're probably pessimistic. I don't think it'll be as bad as this is suggesting. I would have thought we'll have at least one extended period of warmer, dry weather. It could happen later on in the month as well. I do think we'll get at least one burst of potentially quite hot weather through the course of this month, and it may well turn out to be a much better month than these models are suggesting. I haven't got any real confidence in this forecast for August. I'm just siding with the Galsworthy's forecast, really, and we'll see how we do. Finally, having a very quick sneak peek at September. Here we go. And this is 700 millibar height anomaly from the CFS-B2 for September. This has changed quite a lot in the past couple of weeks, and now it's placing an area of above average heights across central parts of Europe. Nothing else really to go on, but if that did come off, we'd probably be bringing in some quite warm, and maybe even a hot, sort of southerly, southeasterly influences. Of course, you can't see whether there's low pressure around here. There probably would be, as it's early autumn month. You would have instability in the Atlantic to south, so it could be quite thundery and wet, but it does indicate, I think, quite a warmish month if that was to come off. We'll worry about September when we get to it. In the final analysis then, the Galsworthy's August month-end forecast is for a slightly cooler than average month, and also a bit wetter than average as well. We haven't got any great confidence in it. It's just the models are going for this, and is in line with the Galsworthy's summer forecast. Bear in mind the summer forecast hasn't gone very well up to this point. And our good friend Terry Scully released his August forecast yesterday, which was much better than this is suggesting if you want warmer, dry conditions. So check that out. You can find a link to that on the homepage. So, well, that's it for now. We'll see how we do. As ever, we'll evaluate when we come to next month. Remember, it's just for fun, really. All long-range forecasting is experimental and not to be relied upon at all. Right, that's all for now. I'll come back later on to the homepage where we'll have the video for the next week to 10 days. That's all for now. Thanks for watching.